Hi everybody, welcome to Attack with Larry C. I'm your host, Larry Christiansen. This is more continuation of Larry C's Attacking Handbook. And our continuing subject is the attacking the unfortunate targeted castle king. Well, we have a few examples of black getting his revenge against the white king, but we're going to start off with a number of good examples of a sacrifice on G7 to expose and hopefully checkmate or inflict grievous material advantage to the opponent. Okay, here's a starting position. We'll start off with a nice little example from Judith Polgar against GM Peter Prohaska. And this is a rather basic example. Notice how Judith has lifted her rook very aggressively, aimed right at the G7 pawn. Let's see what happened. Well, Prohaska plays B takes C6. I think he already knew he was in deep trouble. Let's say he plays Queen takes C6. Then Judith can win routinely with Queen H6, turning mate, G6. Rook H3, there's no back rank, everything's covered, and black must turn over his king. Prohaska instead played B takes C6, and yes, white to move and win. That's not too tough. So here Prohaska, I think, had planned Queen H6. He can actually survive, well, if you call it that, with this. It's pretty dismal, but it's better than nothing. Why prolong the suffering? Judith, you can always count on Judith Polgar to find the shot. And here she goes. Rook takes G7, opening up the king. Little queen and bishop make a nice dynamic duo. Check. Driving the king into the corner. Now the bishop joins the attack. The only way to stave off mate is utterly hopeless. Queen takes E7, so here Prohaska resigned. Now, that was an automatic type sack to find. You just have to always examine those violent forcing moves. We're going to now look at increasingly complex examples. And now let's move up to, well, here's a simple one from yours truly. Yes, I had to throw in one of my examples into this collection. It is my show. This is a game from, I believe, the U.S. Chess League a few years ago. My opponent, Dmitry Schneider, a genial opponent, always good for a laugh, and good comebacks too. But here he didn't come back. This is a position. White to play. Well, it's time to move on. Well, actually, black played here. He played knight f8. His knight's attacked. If white to play, of course, bishop takes knight. Okay, this is really a sort of a no-brainer. Rook e7. That's easy to find. But what happens after queen f5? Attacking the bishop. Do I try something like bishop f7 check, or maybe a modest retreat, a bishop d1, bishop f3, and just be proud of my rook on the 7th? No. Always look at those violent forcing moves. There it is. Rook takes g7 check. King takes check. Driving the king to the corner soon. If king h8, of course, queen takes f6 check is simple enough. Check. Now we drive the king to the corner. And even though white's a rook down, black's king is in a very unfortunate predicament. Can't escape now a horrific windmill or pendulum type situation. And here he knows my sadistic tendencies. If king g8 check, of course white will clean out all the pawns. I'm not sure I would take the A pawn, but I would certainly end up taking the D pawn and emerging 3 pawns ahead with a